Welcome on to the show, VFL, former shortstop, and now former coach, Ricky Martinez. Ricky, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, I like the gold chain. I'm supporting it. Gold chain gang. Joe, you
Appreciate
got
it.
yours
Have
on?
to.
I don't got mine.
We got to get you one.
You
That's
gotta prep
next.
me before the show, dude. You gotta let me know. I'll bring it next time.
All right, got you. So Ricky, kind of a whirlwind for you. You said you basically got back from Omaha and had to pack your stuff and moved to New Mexico. Is that a place? Is that a place where you ever thought you'd move to?
No, not really. But
Oh,
I
really?
was open to anything. Kind of, that's just kind of how the coaching game goes, and
Hmm.
that's how it was in baseball as well, man. So just kind of looking for an opportunity, and this one came up, and just happy to have it.
And so you played for the New Mexico State coach while you're at Sacramento State, correct? Is
I
that
did,
kind
yeah.
of
He was the pitching coach there in 2017, and for some time after, and then he spent the last 4 seasons at Oregon. So we kind of have a little bit of a personal relationship already developed, which obviously makes the transition a little bit easier.
yeah? So when did you kind of know you were wanting to get into coaching? Was it you know playing days at Tennessee, or was it before that? When did that kind of come about?
I think before, to be honest, when I was a player, I talked with Coach Elander about it, and I think he had a similar mindset where when he was a player, he had told me that all the drills that he had been doing as a player, he was taking notes because he knew he wanted to get into coaching. And I kind of remember having that talk with him at Tennessee, and so I did the same thing. While I was playing, whether it was pro ball or just kind of going through the college ranks as well, I was always jotting down stuff to see what worked for me. What did I respond well to? What did I see other people respond well to, and vice versa? What did they not respond well to? Just to again kind of start molding like a coaching style, if you will. So I think it was well before, you know, years and years before I actually got into the coaching game, obviously. And then
Hmm.
when the opportunity came from Coach Vitello to hop back on staff there at Tennessee, man, I jumped on it.
Yeah. So how was that kind of like? Because you played with some of those guys. So is that a weird kind of transition? Be like, I'm kind of coach, but I'm also one of the boys too.
It was because especially last year, right? A lot of the guys that were on the team, like Jarrell, I took
Mhm.
him on his visit. So
Oh wow.
we were engaging in extracurricular activities, as players and stuff like that. And so coming back on the coaching staff, it was a little weird, but to be honest, I kind of liked that role because it was more of like a big brother role type of deal. And I think they respected me as a player, and so if I was going to put them on game as far as any type of instruction, man, they really responded well to it.
So you played shortstop probably your whole life, I assume. First of all, was it weird going from 12 to 15? Is that a weird jersey flip, or and then like would you rather turn two like in the hole, or would you rather hit a double at the plate?
Well, first question, the jersey flip, didn't really matter, man. I kind of bounced around schools and stuff, so I always had kind of a different number everywhere I went, pretty much. And then definitely turn two. I was always a defensive guy, so
Yeah.
hitting the double was cool, but for me, I was kind of in the mindset of in order to stay in the lineup, I needed to dive and play or something spectacular on defense. That was kind of where I was adding the most value as a player. So, and I understood that. So to me, yeah, crisp double play for sure.
Okay. So you had a big hand in kind of the infield these past 2 years, especially when Kiv left. I know we'll get him on in a little bit and tease him about that. But so Maui Huna had a kind of struggled at the beginning of the season. I think he'd be the first person to admit that. What did you see from him in his development over the course of the season?
I think at the beginning there was kind of just a lot of stuff going on, almost unrelated to baseball, if you will. He kind of had that deal at the beginning of the season, and then kind of struggled a little bit through. And, obviously the transfer process for him probably weighed a toll. You have the pressure of the draft, kind of high expectations all around. And, that kind of just plays a role, man, to the whole thing. And I think towards the middle of the season and towards the end, he kind of found his footing, and really started to turn it on. And I mean, he ended up playing a huge role for the team, obviously, playing a premier position at short and hitting at the top of the lineup too. So, I really wish that we had more time with him, to be honest. If we had a couple years,
Mm.
extra with him or got him out of high school, I think it really would have benefited him and stuff. But, that's just kind of the nature of the game and just how it went with him. But, no, man, he ended up doing well. But, like I said, just kind of other factors at the beginning of the season beyond his control.
Yeah.
I think we're weighing him down just a little bit, but he ended up turning it around for
Mm.
us.
That with Maui and then you and then also our good friend Chad Zerker, some of the best shortstops that we've ever seen. Our good friend Connor
Yep.
Pavoloni said you were the best shortstop that he's ever been around. Where would you kind of rank you, Maui, and Zerk in terms of shortstop?
Man, well, Zach heard or Zerker, he had the bat, man. He had the bat. So, I mean,
He could
that's an
hit.
X factor
Yeah.
when you're talking about short. I think Maui could definitely swing it better than me. I think both of them could, to be honest. So, I think I was good at dominating the routine play. Maui was going to make the crazy one. He had one at LSU against Trey Morgan that went to review, and he ended up beating it out. But something like that, I would have never had a chance at making. Kind of the Jeter jump throw thing he did. But and then Zerk, I didn't get to see him on defense, man. I never got to see him in action and stuff. But from his BP, I can only imagine that he was a solid shortstop. So humbly, I'm gonna put myself at 3. I'm gonna throw
Okay.
those two and let them
Okay.
duke it out for 1 and
All
2.
right. I was going to have you be number one. If you're going to say that, I wasn't going to argue. So, um, but yeah. So going back to this season a little bit, the Vanderbilt series, that was kind of the turning point in the entire season. Is there anything besides that game that, maybe behind the scenes that happened, or what was the kind of the reason for that turnaround?
That Vanderbilt series, that's the same turning point that I would say was. So I agree with you with that. And really, I don't think there was anything behind the scenes that happened. There wasn't any kumbaya meetings that, everyone kind of started clicking and just vibing together. I think with that particular series and kind of the way that Friday night game went, we had KT come in for a pinch hit in the ninth and hit the homer, and then Dreiling down to his last strike, very similar to how Denton was there at Clemson, hit a homer to tie it up, and then we walked it off on that Friday night game. I think from that experience, the team started realizing, okay, it doesn't matter how the game is going, we're never out of
Mm-hmm.
it. And again, that was just a theme that kind of carried on, especially in the postseason with that Clemson game. I mean, that was a dogfight back and forth. Pulled it out at the end, and then Southern Miss, same thing. We were down, lost the first game, came back in the next two, and then the Stanford game there in Omaha as well. That kind of just became the theme of the team, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, we're never out of it.
Right.
And it was kind of head by Dylan Dryling's just golfing one out.
Golfing right off the ground, man. It might have bounced. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Crazy.
Ricky, I was curious. You were talking before we went live about getting schedules for recruiting and stuff. What's that difference, kind of like being, obviously as a player being recruited, and then transitioning that to the coaching side, and if there's any like factors that you appreciated in recruiting that you carried on or anything like that?
Yeah, it kind of comes full circle, just starting to get into it a little bit, obviously, but it's crazy because as a player, you're always wanting to be wanted by people, right? Man, I hope this guy offers me this, or I want to go to this school, or I want to do that. I want to have this opportunity and stuff like that. And it's the same way on the recruiting side. You're kind of like, man, I want this kid to come here and I want this kid to play for us, or, that type of deal. So just having that mindset, I guess. And also, I guess just being able to observe and, see talent for what it is, or, see a kid for who they are, versus kind of having like preconceived notions of how I want them to be type of deal. You know what I mean? Just, again, talent evaluating across the board for what it is and stuff. But this will be really my first time going out on the road here soon, this month of July and stuff. Obviously, I can help out on campus, there at UT and everything. But, yeah, the traveling part, I think definitely just the time that it takes away from whether you have a family and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot, it's demanding and stuff. So I kind of have a lot of respect, especially after seeing, Coach Elander, Vitello, and, Frank do it full time. I mean, they're always on the road nonstop, looking for the next guy, looking to make the team better and just help the program thrive.
Yeah, how does that work with like scouting? Like, do y'all get like a list, or is it just like relationships? Like, how does that kind of work?
I think a majority of it's through relationships. You have people that you trust that kind of put you on of, hey, I got this kid over here and he's doing X, Y, Z, or something may fall into your lap where you just, find a kid type of deal. But I'd say a majority of it's through relationships and kind of who you know type of deal.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're trying to find the right mold of kid as well. The talent's going to be one thing, especially at a Power 5, right? The talent's kind of at the top, all around. And so you're kind of trying to find character traits that'll fit into whatever you're, trying to do, because every team's going to have their own thing. Every team's going to have their own thing that kind of makes them click. And so talent's one thing, but finding out how they're going to fit into the clubhouse and in the locker room atmosphere is also important too.
So is that your goal to you want to steal a recruit from Tennessee? Like if you get to that point, you know you'll make it.
No, it's funny. I was joking with Kiv. I was asking him like, "Hey man, what's your schedule like? I'm gonna talk to whatever kid you're talking to and just try and swoop him from you and stuff." And he was joking with me, and he was like, "My schedule is to never run into you." That's what it is. And so I was like, "All right."
Yeah, he texted. He was at West Palm Beach while we were at LSU for the football game, and he
Okay.
commented on our stuff and was just like, he's like, "What are y'all doing?" And I was like, "Why are you in West Palm Beach?" He's like, "Some of us have to work." So he was working in West Palm Beach, I'm sure. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So what kind of was your favorite part about being a part of this program, player or coach, or even both? Um, there's probably so many moments, but I'm sure like what was one that really meant something to you?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's
tough,
that's a
man.
deep question. I do apologize for
It
that.
is, especially with last year's team. Favorite part, I would say, is obviously going to be the relationships. The game is the game. There's going to be strikeouts, errors, so on and so forth, wins and losses and whatnot. But especially after leaving, even immediately, as soon as I was packing my stuff up and driving, I was like, man, I'm going to miss these people. Everyone that's involved in university,
Mhm.
just rolling around and meeting new types of people. I mean, Tennessee's a special place, especially with the fan base. I mean, it's unmatched, to be honest with you, as far as how much people care, even that aren't directly involved. Like I said, just fans, regular people that are hanging out in the city and stuff. Um, Again, favorite moment, man, that's tough. Like if I had to, put it down to one, um, just really, really Trey. I mean, man, I can't even. I don't know. Trey Lipscomb's entire season, as well as Darrell Ortega's. That's probably my favorite moment, I guess. Just those two cats, Cortland Lawson as well, man, and really just because I got to work with them day in and day
Yeah.
out. It's kind of why I would pick those three. Luke as well, but I don't think Luke's season was a surprise by any means.
Hmm.
I think the other three was kind of like, man, they over delivered in a really good way, from a production standpoint. So, um, yeah, man, just
Yeah.
the infield guys,
Well,
man,
and like
how they did last
you,
year.
you mentioned those three guys, and like that's something you don't see very often, especially now with the transfer portal. Like if people aren't playing, they're dipping.
They're
Yeah.
bouncing, yeah.
So I mean, it was really cool to see them. And I guess good for the program. Like they can be like, hey, selling point. If you don't play this year, hey, next year we had Trey Lipscomb, Drill Ortega. Kind of wait their turn, and this is what happened to them.
Right. Now, and I think that speaks to 2 points. One is the development side
Mhm.
of things. Obviously the guys um, weren't good enough to break into that starting lineup at the beginning. And some of that's not even a testament to their skill level. It's just a testament to the people that were before them. Like Trey had to sit behind Andre Lipsius and Jake
Yeah.
Rucker. Like those are two All-Americans that he was kind of waiting and buying his time behind. But behind the scenes, while he was waiting, he wasn't just sleeping, or slacking off. He was developing, and that's why he had the season he did. And then the second thing with people staying there is going to be the relationships they built. Right, like they don't want to bounce and go to a new spot, even if they may have the opportunity to hop in and play right away. The people that they're around kind of mean something. They may mean more than just getting right in and playing the game. They want to be around, kind of like what I was alluding to with bouncing. What made leaving so hard is the people, man. The people are special that you're around. So that's kind of why some of the guys wanted to stick it out.
Yeah.
I was wondering what value or practice or experience or something happened at Tennessee, both as a player and part of the coaching staff that you know was prominent enough that it'll you'll carry with you for the rest of your coaching career and onward.
Man, I think, and I was going to tell Kid this whenever he hops on, but just being coached hard, being held accountable, and relentlessly too. I think Q, he plays a huge role in that aspect in the program. And so, when you get to a place like that, especially now, man, like just the demands are so high, but they're not unattainable, and so that's kind of what, I don't know, helps a lot of the players, to be honest, and especially myself, of like having somebody pull it out of you because they're demanding it nonstop. From a practice environment, and anything you're doing around a facility, there's going to be high standards, high expectations. So, you know, coming in, whether you're a JUCO guy like I was or a freshman, just any new guy into the program, man, that can kind of be a daunting task at the beginning, you
Mhm.
know, because you don't know, right? You're like, man, I don't know if I can hack it at this level, or if I can, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna fit in or if I belong, you know, talent wise, if I can keep doing these lifts, man, these workouts are hard, practice is hard every day, you know what I mean? But when you're doing that for so long and stacking so many days like that, the gameplay kind of becomes really easy at that. Like the gameplay becomes fun
Yeah.
because you put in so much work behind the scenes and stuff. So that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed, and I look back on now when times get hard, of just how hard, you know, that first fall was when I was there, overcoming, you know, certain things throughout the season and stuff like that. Of anytime I have a hardship now, I, you know, look back to that experience as far as, I've been here before, you know, I can get through something else too.
Yeah. So what was it like? Because you were part of that, that 2019 year where you make it to the first regional that they made to since 2005. So you're kind of that first part where you really start to see the program, make the turn to where it is now. What was that kind of like when you finally get to Omaha this year as a coach? Kind of seeing that whole thing out throughout the where you played here, and then obviously when you're a coach.
No, it was awesome, man. And you know, again, it comes full circle. And I would try and tell the guys that, because you have freshmen that come in, they don't really know Tennessee baseball in any other light other than, you know, going to super regionals, playing in Omaha like the 21 team did, or doing
Hmm.
well. You know, and when I was being recruited, that wasn't the
Sure.
case, right?
Yeah.
And that was the vision for sure. And you know, that was one of the appealing things in the recruitment process was, you know, new coaching staff, opportunity to play, really good conference. You know, those were kind of the three things that drew me in. And so when we made it to the regional, you know, it wasn't a surprise, because I think, again, just how hard everyone was working and everyone had kind of bought in. You know, from how we started in the fall to the people that were left once we were getting, you know, to the thick of the season. I mean, everyone kind of knew, especially from a talent standpoint, man. We were super talented. You know, we had young bucks at the time, like Crochet. I mean, he was a young cat. Alaric was a young dude, but I mean, just super talented kids, right? And so now getting to Omaha, um, you know, I would tell the guy practice and stuff, because it's almost like, you know, if a guy was going to take it for granted, like the stadium being sold out. I used to joke with them of like, dude, I couldn't give away 30 tickets, you know,
Oh
to the
yeah.
games on a Tuesday game or whatever. And now, like, there's not enough seats,
Hmm.
you know, like that's why they're getting $100 million stadium.
Yeah.
And there's a picture we have at the facility where when we clinched in 2019 to go to the regional, it was that last weekend against Ole Miss. And so we're all kind of celebrating in the outfield, V's in the middle of a circle, you know, rattling up the guys and stuff. And you can kind of see a sliver of the stands in the background, and they're almost empty. There's like maybe 15 people in the picture, like no one's really there. And this was a Friday night win in the SEC, you know, like last series of the season against Ole Miss at home,
Hmm.
and just no one's there. Like it just wasn't a thing at the time, you know. And now again, it's like, dude, there's a block party. Like they're blocking off an entire road outside of the stadium because so many people want to go to the game. So, I mean, like that transition in such a short period of time is, I mean, it's unbelievable. Or I won't even say unbelievable. It's totally believable with, you know, the way that Vitella's been running that whole thing, you know, for the past 4 years. It's just really cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I do miss like just getting in for like a can of beans or something like that, but I don't miss it at the same time because it wasn't worth it.
Right.
We got another guest, special guest, the vet Ross Kivett makes his return. What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's your
I know you
Tennessee
guys have been.
stuff?
I actually have something Tennessee. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see.
there
That's
you
my
go.
wife's office. Yeah.
Okay, nice. I like
They
that.
don't give that to Ricky though. I noticed you didn't have a Peyton Manning signed helmet.
Yeah. Are you on an iPhone? You couldn't get a computer for the.
No, my computer's for recruiting.
That's
You'll learn
crazy.
that. You'll learn that someday, young buck. But I was
Hey,
listening
All
to
right.
the
All
sob
right.
stories about when you had nobody in the stands and then they got good when you left, and now there's a ton of people.
Probably because you were yelling at everybody, staying in the game and whatnot, right?
Oh God,
dude,
what's
what's
going
it
on,
like
guys?
being back in the Big 12?
Well, 24 hours in. So far, so good. No one's
Has that
beat
been
me
your
yet, which
selling
is
point
good.
for recruits today?
Yeah,
Has it?
absolutely, absolutely. It's a completely different playing field now, which is awesome. But trying to get the next Ricky Martinez. We need
Okay.
someone that's going to come in and play shortstop.
So you going JUCO or are we going high school?
I think it's going to end up being from the portal. I mean,
Okay.
you guys know about the portal. Obviously, Tennessee does so well in it. And, that's kind of the name of the game now is to have a veteran, someone with D1 stats and experience in order to compete in this level. And we'll see. We're in on a few of them, but nothing cooking right now. We got a good one that we can't talk about until he signs his papers, and then hoping that we can get a little bit more depth on that infield.
I like that. Well, Kiv, we will have to give Caleb crap. He's on a road trip out west right now. So
Okay.
he told me he was going to be back at 7 to his hotel room. He's literally just him and his dog are just 20 days out west is what he's doing.
Nice.
Just out of the blue, just went. So he's supposed to get in his hotel around 8, he said. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, you never know with him. So he
No,
couldn't
that's
be,
okay.
but we might just have to FaceTime you one day just to get his fix in or something.
Yeah, he posted something today that was that about his road trip?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I follow him on Twitter still. He's a good time. He's a good follow.
I was looking at our old tweets at each other, and I like Cougar Kiv, but something about Rocky Top Ross was just different.
Is Caleb gonna stop in New Mexico and say hi to Ricky?
I asked him, and he said if Ricky said he'll give me a tour, I'll drive down to New Mexico. That's what he said.
He should. A good
we saw him
recruiting
bring him
coordinator
in.
would.
Yeah.
Bring him in.
You never
It's
know.
already scheduled, the route and everything.
Starting the relationships, right?
No doubt. How Ricky? What are you doing? Are you back? Are you there now? I'm just taking over this
Yeah, I'm in the
podcast, this Vols podcast,
Hey,
asking you questions to
Yeah,
catch
do
up.
it. Do it.
I'm in the hotel kicking it. What was that shortstop's name? You were
Yeah, I'm
saying
sure you will.
were
I'm
getting
sure
ready
you will.
to-
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, I'm out here in Las Cruces, just hanging out right now, getting some stuff scheduled, and I got to find a place to live still. I'm still looking for some housing, so.
Well, you don't need Vitello wouldn't have a place to live until end of August when the recruiting period's done. So do what you're told.
Yeah, there's an Adobe out here somewhere, that I can hunker down in.
Yeah. So,
Oh man,
Kiv, you'll always be remembered and cherished from your outburst in Omaha,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to call it. Outburst in Omaha sounds like a newspaper article headline. So Ricky, we get that from you at some point in your career.
Some
Hopefully
point,
it's
probably.
in Omaha.
Yeah, that would be neat. I don't know if I'll go with the clipboard slam. I think I'm gonna go with the helmet, the skull cap.
Okay.
Maybe try and get a bounce pass back on, and just throw it right back on like it didn't happen. I think that's gonna be my move. I haven't practiced. It's gonna be a heat of the moment type of deal, but we'll see what happens when the time comes.
Was Alabama kind of close? I know you were kind of you're kind of adamant in that moment. Kind of before Vitello happened, obviously, but there were some words exchanged, correct?
Yeah, it was getting rowdy.
Yeah.
It was getting rowdy, ready to rumble, but we kept it poised, and someone got yanked, so it was short lived, but yeah,
Who tossed
you just never know
Vitello?
what you're gonna find out there. Your boy Jeff Macias
Against Alabama this year?
No, last year.
This was last year.
Last
year.
Oh, yeah. That's when the
No,
the
we didn't play
Bumpgate,
Bama
right?
this year.
Bumpgate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have y'all made up, you and Jeff?
Me and Jeff are fine. Me and Mike, I don't think we'll ever make up.
Okay. So y'all haven't talked since.
No, he's ref. He is a ref. He's on some games that I've had, but we don't talk or shake hands or acknowledge each other.
You don't have beers
So,
after.
No. I'm Italian. I hold grudges, so I'll remember that one forever. But
so Joey, you want to get in on this? Kiv, have you met Joey before?
No, I was just about to say. I thought Joey was Caleb, and then you said Caleb's not here. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, this is our producer. He spends a lot of time in Ohio, so he met a girl from Columbus. So yeah. But she goes to UT though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good, nice.
Yeah. She found
we converted her, dude. I'm trying to pull her apart from the Buck fan in her. So Her dad doesn't
Well,
like
I'm a
that.
Michigan fan, so we can't have any of that.
That's fine. As long as I hate Penn State too, so I think we're all finding common
Very
ground.
fair. Very fair.
So when we meet in the college football playoff this year, Tennessee and Michigan, Ross, who are you cheering for?
Come on, that's not even a question. Me and you text about this all the time. It's going to be Michigan. It was tough when I was with Tennessee. I mean, my dad's a season ticket holder. I have to go. He's like you, but like 20 years older.
Well,
he doesn't have a podcast.
He needs one. He can hop on anytime. If you would have been there for the Alabama game this year, maybe that would have changed your fandom a little bit. What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, I was telling people from the get-go, as soon as the game started, I was like, I'm going to be down on the 47-yard line on the home side. As soon as the game started, I was like, watch, I'm going to be on the 47-yard line. Yep. It's like, if y'all see me on the field, it's 47-yard line. Yeah, I ran down there. That was nuts, man. I never seen the goal pole almost crushed me because it wasn't like tall enough to duck under and it wasn't low enough to go over. It was like midline.
Oh, yeah.
When it was rolling through, and it wasn't stopping. Like, people were just shoving that thing through, so there was a business decision to be made, man. You're either going to try and hurdle it or go down and risk not coming back up, man, just getting trampled. So
I think I got some hair shaved off of me. I got a little taken off the top with the goalpost there.
It was nuts.
Hey, how does that happen? Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I was at Tennessee during the Jeremy Pruitt era, so we didn't win anything. But what happens when the goalpost goes down? Does it like crack? I mean, how does that work?
It just like it's a crack. So like the post, it just snapped pretty much.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Were you smoking a cigar, Rick?
I was.
Nice.
You didn't see my TV time?
Dude, if you think I was watching that.
Oh yeah, you were on TV.
Yeah, they panned on me and Trey were right there, front and center.
Were you guys really?
Yeah, it was a good one. Oh yeah.
Do you have a video of it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Send it to me. I mean,
out of all
everything
the people,
else.
how many people were, there had to have been 50,000 people in the stadium, and it was just me and Trey Way right there on the big screen, man, kicking it.
He's gonna be a big leaguer.
So, that's a recruit.
Yeah, no, he's balling right now.
He's a baller. He's good.
And then Drew's going to be in the same city as you here pretty soon too.
Yeah, he's also going to be a big leaguer. He's very good.
Yeah.
Ricky played with a lot of big leaguers.
Yeah.
We did a good job.
It hurts, man. It hurts.
We did a good job. And then one really good coach.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I still tell the story because when I was playing on the scoreboard before the games, they used to throw up your major, right? Like what you were studying.
Yeah.
And so my undergrad was in sociology. And so every game, Kiv would go, sociology, huh? Like, what are you going to do with that? And I'd be like, I'm going to play in the big leagues. And here I am, not in the big leagues, man.
Yeah, same as him.
Yeah. No, Rick, do you remember when they had to take it down because everybody had the same major? And so a team called and was like, hey, why is like 85% of the baseball team in the same major?
Yeah.
Gee, man.
We were doing that
unreal.
That Chapel Hill.
Amazing.
Just
North
nuts,
Carolina
man.
school.
Just nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
Pete Durkay was the only one not in. It was in something different. He was like supply chain, and everybody else.
Supply chain, yeah. That was one of the.
And that's what he's doing. He's in logistics.
Yeah.
He works
He's
at
smart.
Axel. All he does is golf, though. Every
He
time
could
I see him
really-
post, he's golfing.
He could really
Probably
hit a
for
right-handed
business.
heater.
For business, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything he hit was golfed, pretty much. Anyway.
Yeah. He's good at it. I only, Landon, not to hijack your podcast. I came on just so that I could make fun of Rick for like 10, 15 minutes, and I was going to let him have his time.
Yeah, no,
But-
please do it. I mean, we'll do
The
this.
only
500th episode is coming up, and like we're just gonna probably record for 24 hours straight. So yeah, we're gonna do
Oh
this.
my gosh, we should jump back on then, Rick.
Yeah.
And, like at the wee hours of the night. Like
We're
after
gonna do a
couple of
segment
rainwaters.
in the hot tub. Yeah.
Well, the only story I had, I have two
Okay.
really good ones. I'll
Right.
tell the second one. I warned him on the second one, and I'll tell that next. But the first one is Ricky, we're facing Hancock when Georgia was really good. Hancock and then Wilcox came out of the pen, two big leaguers, two first rounders. And we had a running joke that Ricky could only go to right center because he had a slow bat, but he was a really good defender. So he said he got paid to play defense. Well, they literally make a pitching change to bring Wilcox in, and it's 97 to 100, just hammer sinkers. Like, you couldn't make this in a video game, right? And he's 6'5", just a strapping young man, and he had no chance. So I don't remember what teammate. It wasn't a nice one. It might have been Russell. Came up to Ricky and was like, "Hey, man, you might want to start your swing on deck." And that's when I knew. That's when I knew that I had some impact on the team, because that's a joke that I totally would say.
Man, it wasn't Russell. It was you.
No.
Swing now.
Yeah.
You're doing the scouting report. Start your swing now.
But that's because you were such a good leader.
Oh man.
And then my next best Rick story is it was his fall, and we do a running, like a conditioning for everybody, right? And as coaches, you look to make it like a punishment, but it's really not. It's just a conditioning to make sure that, we're a unit and we're in good shape. And Quentin has us doing these sprints up a certain hill that I'm not allowed to talk about, or Vitell will send his hitman. But we're doing this, and Alaric has not. He's gonna kill me for this, but he wants nothing to do with it. And we finish, and everyone's tired. And Rick, who's like the junior college guy, he comes in. He's trying to be like a leader. Like, V wants a leader. First regional in 16 years. Like, we got to get it done. And Rick's like, "This is my time right here in October. I'm gonna be the captain of this team. I'm gonna set the tone." Yo, Alaric, man, like, that was some soft whatever, man. Like, if we're gonna get through, we got to get through tough stuff like that. We have to do it. And Alaric totally dunks on him by, one, not caring anything he said, and two, getting $1 million in the first round and telling Rick, "Let me know if you need any donation for the Spire Fund." Just totally.
Hey, regional bound.
Regional bound.
All right. True. Regional bound. Laid the bricks, man. Someone had to do it.
Yeah.
You
It was a form of self-sacrifice looking back now, all right? It was a form of self-sacrifice.
Everyone's like, "Damn, dude, he totally just called out Alaric, who hit like 20 home runs last year, and damn, dude, he does not care at all."
It was good intention.
That's what they got from it. They said fearless leader. Yeah. Fearless right there.
They did. You were a fearless leader. God. I remember driving back, and Q was so fired up. Like, "That's what we need, man. Like, that's what we need in this program, is someone that'll lead like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but not off the guy that's going to hit in our 3-hole. Can't he attack like Russell or somebody?" Like, what's he thinking? Oh, man.
So
that's all I had, Landon. Sorry.
No, you're good. I do want to ask y'all. So both of y'all coach first base at Tennessee. Who's a better first base coach?
Well, he's in better shape.
He's a better fielder for the foul balls.
Well, yeah, because I don't try for those. I'm a teacher of fielding, not a fielder. I think you didn't get thrown out of any games or get anyone. You probably got somebody thrown out, but that's okay. Everyone does.
Several times.
Hey, Elander did too. So I mean, it wasn't just you.
Right. It's cost doing business.
It's just business. It's hard, especially in that league when guys can really throw in the outfield. I'm not gonna give him that quite yet. Okay. I'm gonna watch him coach third base before I ask who's the better base coach. But he's definitely in better shape. That I'll give him.
So are you coaching third base, Ricky? Do you know that?
Yeah, I'll beat the 3-bagger.
Okay. Yes, he is.
3-bagger, hitting the Josh Elander.
Nice.
Send him.
Yeah,
you're gonna do that, or are you gonna wave your arm?
No, I think my shoulder might blow out from the BP that I've thrown over the past 2 years if I wave the arm.
You should wave your left arm. That's how right arm is backwards, left arm is forward.
I would just be going right arm. Wheeling, no?
No, wheeling is that would be clockwise, which is backwards on a baseball field. You want to go counterclockwise because you're always going left.
What kind of coaching? What kind of coaching critique are we getting into here, man? We're in the weeds.
Well, if you're gonna do this, that's fine. That doesn't matter. But if you want to wave your arm, you want to wave your right arm because that would be moving them backwards. you would move your left arm to move them forward.
Is there not
Unless
a
you
I've never even thought about it. I've always thought about just right arm going backwards.
yeah, I
Well,
feel like
you would
that's
do
the
like
normal
waving
thing.
towards home.
that is yeah, exactly. Right arm going backwards. You don't want to move backwards. You would have to go this way to get them to wheel forward. Think about it.
I see what you're saying.
If I'm talking to you about going backwards, right, it would be this way, correct? This way.
Yeah.
I love
So if
this.
I
I see
wanted
what
you
you're
to
saying
go
with the-
forward, I would go this way. So my left arm is going forward. My right arm is going backwards.
There's
If you want to
When
be a
would you ever
pro,
be wheeling the guy backwards though?
there's a
I
science
don't
to
Towards the
base
base.
coaching.
You would just be like,
Ron
yeah,
Washington
right.
goes
right.
left arm, and
we
he's
need to
the
bring on
best
an
ever.
official.
Yeah.
Ron Washington,
Right,
he's
all
the
right.
best ever.
I'm thinking
He goes left arm.
Left
okay,
arm.
what about the Homer like handshake when they're rounding third
Oh,
base?
that
Is
has to be Ricky and his group's decision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I
So
let my
what's
group
what's
decide.
yours right now, Kiv?
It's a backwards high five. So it's like
Okay.
the back of your hand high five. But
Okay.
every group should be different. It's up to Ricky and his group. That's kind of an intimate thing.
Have you been thinking about it? I feel like that'd be the first thing I thought about when I know I'm coaching third base.
Time will tell. I think something throughout the fall maybe is gonna develop. I mean, you kind of got to play personalities too. See what everybody's about type of
That's
deal.
fair.
Like last year, we had a different. They would do it at first. We would do some different type of stuff. Like Russell wanted to do Bill Cosby, where he's like walking, looking behind himself into the bushes. So we kind of did a little thing with that. I did a play action pass with Trey, and it was crazy because they were hitting so many homers that it was like, all right, someone's gonna hit a bomb, no doubt. That we're gonna get to do something pretty much every game.
Yeah.
With last year's group. So yeah, that was fun at first, but some of them you don't know if they're going. Funny story about this, Jarrell, late in the year, he wanted to change he wanted to do like a Euro step with me at first base when he was hitting the homer, right? And so we go to Mississippi State on that Friday night game where everybody's banging. And so I think he had 2 doubles. He had a homer to center. He might have had 2 homers. And he's coming up again in the 9th. And we didn't do it because they were like wall scraping. He was hitting them out to dead center. So he was, hauling while he was going around the bases. Well, so he gets in the dugout in like the 8th and he's giving me shit about it. He's like, hey man, you didn't do it. You didn't. And I was like, dude, you were running. The ball barely got out. And so I was like, hit another one and then we'll do it. And he's like, okay, and he needed a triple for the cycle. I think he had a single, 2 homers, and 2 doubles. So he needed a triple for the cycle. He comes up in the 9th and he hits another one oppo. He's going like right center. And he's watching it. He wants to do the little thing and it hits off the top of the wall. It doesn't go out. So he only got a double.
Oh man, you got to stretch it. You got to try it.
Yeah, he ended up missing it for because he wanted to celebrate and we didn't get to do it. And I was like, Poppy, what are we doing, man?
No.
Come on. So yeah, tragic, but all good.
He actually hit a home run. We had him on the show during the season. He hit a home run. His next home run, I forget when it was, but it was for us. But the rest of them, he said, was for his girlfriend. But that one was for us.
That makes sense. No,
Cupcake, man. Cupcaked
Yeah.
up.
he's cupcaked up. Oh God.
So, transfer portal. You love it, hate it. NIL, you love it, hate it, because y'all were in an era where like that wasn't a huge part of the game, and now you're coaching where it's almost everything.
Take it, kid.
Oh, I thought you were
you've seen
gonna
it from
go
the coaching
first.
side. From a player side, go ahead.
I mean, you want coach's side first because I'd like to hear your opinion on the players.
Well, from the player side, I mean, I think locker room dynamic plays a role, right? You got new guys that are coming in. It's different than, a JUCO guy coming in or a freshman coming in. When you're bringing in a guy that's kind of established, because that's what's happening in the portal, right? You're not getting like a project guy that you don't know if he can, hack it or not. You're kind of getting a dude that you're expecting to fill a hole pretty quickly. So there's just hurdles that come with it, and then especially with the NIL stuff as well. It's just a whole new landscape. It's entirely different than what it was 4 years ago. It's pretty much Wild West free agency at this point, especially at the bigger schools, Tennessee and whatnot. I mean, SEC is a little different, obviously, than here. But what's your take, Kiv? You've seen it a little longer on the coach's side than I have.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as dynamics, like a clubhouse dynamic, like Rick touched on, it's you don't want to go too heavy a portal, or else you kind of lose a culture and what your program or your organization's kind of foundation has been built on. But you definitely like it because you can, plug and play essentially, and you can get some guys that are older with stats, and maybe you get a kickback guy that's from, in my situation, from Houston that went somewhere else outside of the city, and he comes back and he's a real dude because of the change of scenery. You also can get smacked in it, when guys feel like the grass is greener and they leave, and you kind of lose a piece of your roster. So NIL wise, I think it's great that they can make money off their name, image, and likeness, as long as we're all fair in love and war right now, right? Like, as long as that's what it's actually for. Prying people off of rosters with NIL is probably a little bit more than frowned upon, and that's happening way more than people expected in the baseball or the college baseball landscape. But I think it's good for the sport, because NIL gets a freshman like Dylan Cruz into LSU, and he's a transcending type player. He's a ratings type player, and you've seen it in the last 2-3 years that college baseball is fun to watch, and people are paying for it, and there's $100 million stadiums, and there's $100 million players coming out of it, and more times than not you aren't going to get to run into that, because Dylan Cruz's of the world and Paul Skeens of the world are signing out of high school. But I think anytime you can get a really good player into college baseball, it's good for the sport, and generally good for me and the coaching part of it. And now Rick's in it, and he'll see, like, it's good for the game when first rounders go to college. It just is. And it doesn't matter where they go. And you don't want to play against them, but you're sure happy that they're a part of this, because they're helping boost everything about what we love, and that's this game.
Yeah, I'm not upset that Dylan Cruz is no longer in college baseball anymore.
No.
Glad I got to
watched
watch
him
him
hit
play,
a
but I'm
3-0
done.
pitch. Hey, Rick, I watched him hit Blade Tidwell's 3-0 pitch when he was a freshman onto the train tracks.
Was that
And
the
that
super?
was in a super regional.
Yeah, that was
And we
appalling.
won it. And we won that. There was like 12 total home runs, and we won by like 11. It's like the highest ever. I think it was like 8, but it's like the highest amount of home runs with that lopsided of a score ever.
Yeah, I think Rutgers started off the game with a home run.
Yeah, grand slam.
Yep, Pav hit one.
Oppo?
Off of Marcino. Yeah, like right center. He was a freak too. Jake Rucker's a good player. Another guy. Big leaguer.
Yeah.
I know.
You had to walk so they could run.
Self-sacrifice, man.
Yeah.
Just through and through.
Just poor Rucker had to play second base because you were playing short, but he's going to play in the big leagues.
I know, man. I know.
Can we make a segment of guys that are going to make it in the big leagues that Rick helped get there, not as a coach, but as just a teammate?
Could you call each and every one of them? We just bring them in.
Yeah.
One by one.
One by one, right.
Here's Rucker. Here's Andre. Here's Trey Lipscomb. Here's Terrell Ortega. Here's Al.
Yeah. Are you're and Al are on better terms though, right? Than that day.
Yeah. No, me and Al are good, man. Me and Al are good. We actually played together in high school, so I got a few war stories with him in the travel ball world. So, and then we played against each other in JUCO.
Okay.
So when we came to Tennessee, we already had a little bit of rapport with each other and stuff. So made it easier. It's more like brothers fighting at the time, you know what I mean? But one brother was hitting 18 homers and 350, and one was hitting 250 with one homer.
So good defender, though.
That's how it goes.
What a defender.
Good defender.
So so I asked Ricky before, I was like, you had Maui, and Chad Zerker all on a roster. Who are the three, ranked the 3 best shortstops in that group?
Are we going all around player?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Ricky. If it was defender, he would have had a legitimate chance.
Okay, we'll go just shortstop.
Ricky, Maui, Zerk.
Okay.
But if we're going Player. This is going to be surprising because Maui's going to get paid, I'm sure, and I'm not allowed to talk about him, but I will. Zerker's a Hall of Famer, dude. He's in. He's number one.
Yep.
It's Zerker, Maui, and then my man.
That's what I
But
gave.
as
That's
far
what I
as
was in.
personality, though, you're number one. There's no
Wow,
doubt.
thank you.
Dude, every time I see Ricky out in Knoxville, always talks to me. Great dude.
He should.
Doing
He's
doing it.
personality deluxe.
He is.
He's a mature guy.
He's always
Gotta
got
count.
he's always got like a mob with him too. You know, he's leading the
Oh
pack.
yeah, I'm sure he does.
Roll
Well,
deep.
let's give credit where it's due. His parents, who were police officers, raised a good young man. However, his bat was not the fastest of that three. It just wasn't.
Oh man.
Well, this has been a blast. I have two more questions. They can be
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
Are y'all a little upset that y'all don't get, and maybe you make it back to Knoxville? You know, maybe we open it up and we have 12 paid assistants at some point, and all you guys can come back. Are you a little upset that you don't get to enjoy Lindsey Nelson in its glory when it's newly built, or whatever
I'll
the
go
name
first, Rick,
of it is at that point?
because you're going to have a way different perspective because you played. I didn't get to play on it. So for me, I'm just happy for V, right? I mean, I'm happy for the staff and what they built and how they got the support. I think that's awesome. So for me, no, I'm not jealous at all. I think it's awesome for them. But I didn't get I didn't have to do the battle every day in it, right? I didn't have the transition between regular surface and turf, and then have the locker room how it was when Ricky was there. The cafeteria / donors room, whatever they call that now.
MVP room.
That VP room, having my team meals there and not having the best facility on earth. But I'm my perspective is really happy for them. They deserve it, and that's awesome. So How about you as a player?
I'm in the same boat with what you said. I'm happy for him too, and obviously I'm not necessarily jealous. I would say I'm more proud of kind of how it went because of like being a part of that transition. Like I was there when, the field was regular surface and stuff. And I remember on my visit, I mean, I'm coming from junior college, right? So you're not playing on the best fields. So to me, like the grass that we had at the time, I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. This is a crazy nice field.
Yeah.
And I remember on my visit, Kiv was like, you see this lip? How can we play defense on this lip right here? This lip of grass, like this has got to go. Like this is terrible. I'm like, I would be honored to play on this field right now, And so seeing the transition of all those things, the locker room, the weight room, even the porch, how the porches came different. I think in the season I was there, that left field line, there used to be like chairs or something out there too, like where the portable bleachers right now.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be like picnic area type of deal.
Yeah.
So, and then seeing the renderings that they're going to build, I mean, it's just no hate or anything, or sadness or jealousy at all. It's all like, I'm just thrilled, man, that to see how that program has changed, and what they're getting. I mean, it's only right. I mean, with what they've been producing over the past half decade, pretty much, so I'm happy for the staff. I hope that it gets built quick, to be honest with you, because I want to see the scene. It'll probably just only be on TV, on wheels, the highlights on YouTube or something. But it's gonna get popping. So kind of.
Hey, there's plenty of recruiting to do in Knoxville. I mean, y'all can always do in Knoxville if you want to. You have a place with me anytime.
Good deal.
Even though
I might take you up on it.
And Kiv, I'm into golf now. I got the bug.
No.
Yeah, I'm horrible, but I got a buddy that gets us on an iguani, and we play it.
That's my course.
Friday night golf with the boys. That's what we do.
How hard is 6? Can you clear it, or do you have to lay up? Getting over that, like I guess they call it a lake. I mean, it's probably a pond.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'll clear it to the right or left, but it ain't going straight.
No.
No.
I'm not going to lie to you, and don't tell anybody this story. I was playing with Turpin and Zerker and one of their buddies. Actually, you guys probably know him, Cody Hahn.
Cody Hahn,
excuse me. I said Corey.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens when you do the portal for 48 straight hours.
Hey, write that down.
Cody,
Corey somebody is
Yeah, Corey something.
Hey, write it down. It
Got my
actually is a
pen right
Corey.
here.
It actually, I can't lie. It is a Corey. Hey, it's gonna get on Twitter, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, they talked about it. There's a violation." You know who will turn me in too, Ricky. The people that don't
Right.
like what tree I'm cut from. So they'll all turn me in for talking about him. Anyway, Cody Hahn, who is a Vols legend. I mean, I think he had like all sorts of different records before. He can really hit it, and I mean, he can really clear it. And I've had to lay up there before because I knew I couldn't, which is bad.
Yeah, I refuse to play with like Zerk and them because they've played like all their life. I'm not cut for that yet. Now I'll go
good.
slam some beers and have some iguani hot dogs
Oh,
at
yeah.
the turn and stuff. But yeah, I go out there to hang out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you have the golf itch. That definitely is more attractive to come back and play around with you.
Yeah, anytime. So I do have one more question. If you weren't a coach, what would you do? Sociology, Ricky? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, ain't much paper to be made there, man. Ain't much paper to be made there.
You would be a police officer. Who are you kidding?
No, I think I'd be an actor. I'd be out in LA on the big screen.
Oh
baby.
my God, I wish you didn't say that. I honestly,
Yes.
I told myself I wasn't going to do this on this podcast because you have to be kidding me with that response.
You couldn't see me? Couldn't see me on the big screen, maybe?
Well,
playing a
I've
role?
seen you change accents this last 30 minutes, like 15 different times, so I know that would work. I mean, at one point, where's
Good.
your authentic self at?
Building my resume
on.
right there, man. Building my resume.
Well, now you don't even have to move to Hollywood. You can just go to Atlanta. Atlanta's the new Hollywood now.
No
Right.
way, really?
That's where like most of like shows and movies and everything. Like I have a cousin that's an actor and he goes to Atlanta more than he does LA.
Really?
Yeah.
You would be good at acting.
Cost
Rick.
of living.
You acted like
Thank
you acted like an SEC shortstop for a whole year.
What about you? What would you be doing? What would you be doing?
Dude, you know that I don't have many skills at all, but I think I could do stand-up comedy. Evan Russell told me I should.
I could see it.
I have
Let's do
fine
it.
timing. My jokes aren't great, but I can get better. I mean, just a little work.
Funny looking.
I'm not good looking, so that's an instant laugh. I mean, you've seen the Bert Kirschgeier guy. He just takes his shirt off. People start laughing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Fat
part-
people are
part of
funny.
that.
It's kind of.
I'll just take my
Okay.
shoes off or something.
Yeah, there you go. When are you getting married, Kiv?
December 2nd. Yes.
Heck yeah.
5 months
Good.
from today.
You doing it in Houston?
No. I can't say where because I don't need anyone crashing it, but it's somewhere in Florida.
Okay. West Palm Beach. That's where it's at.
No. South Beach. No.
'Cause, do you remember when we were at LSU and you said you were in West Palm Beach? I was like, "What are you doing there?" He said, "You said some people have to work."
That's a fact. I was in Jupiter, which leads me to a question. I know you're doing your schedule. Are you going to do Jupiter or no? There's no Aggies going down there.
Nah, yeah, I'll stay more West Coast. And then
You don't
Corey,
think West Coast teams go to
and then
Jupiter?
Corey, whoever. Well, they do, but I
You don't think it's not teams, dude. It's players. It's good players.
Well,
We'll talk after
Jupiter's
this.
in the
You
fall.
already
Yeah,
have.
Jupiter's in the fall.
You have good guess. That's one because he just said that they're playing LSU in football, so that was good context clues by you.
Yeah.
Me and you
Yeah,
are
I
gonna
might
have
be
to
out
have
there.
we're gonna have to have a conversation because nobody that I've coached is gonna be bad at their job. That's not happening. It's not.
the
Just not
Ross
happening.
Kivett tree.
Oh, because you know who is the top apple on that tree. He will kill
Mm.
you before you're bad at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You're not going to embarrass the Godfather. That's one
Well-
Italian you will not embarrass. Can you believe
No,
that?
you're right. You're right. You ain't lying.
If I don't sign a player, if I lose a player to somebody in his league, you might as well just punch me in my own face because it makes me want to.
Does he give you crap about it?
I mean, there's been some times where he's been disappointed, which is worse.
That's awesome.
Hey,
Like
how
a
did you let
father.
this guy? Yeah, how'd you let this guy go to an SEC school in your state? Well, didn't really have the the conference to back it, doesn't matter. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been taught better than that. Yes, sir.
That's all you can say.
Oh man.
That's awesome. Well, I don't know what happened to him. He went dark on us.
R.I.P. Kiv.
Yep. It was a matter of time.
Right.
Ricky, hey, really appreciate you coming on, and Ross too, if he gets back in here. And good luck to you, and we appreciate you and all that you've done for Tennessee and getting us to this point. You know, you're a huge part in that, even though no matter what Ross Kivett says. So appreciate you, and we wish you the best of luck, and we'll have to do this again.
No, for sure. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah.
It's been a blast, man. You know, like I said, I got nothing but love for Knoxville and the people there too. So people just like y'allself, man. So anything y'all need from me, man, feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Appreciate you, dude.
Good deal. I'll see y'all later. I appreciate it.
Take care.